The Q60D from Samsung is an affordable, feature-rich TV, but is the picture quality any good? Well, that's what we're going to take a look at today in the full review of the Samsung Q60D. How's it going, everybody? It's KG here from SamMobile. The Q60D is Samsung's first QLED TV in the lineup. This is going to be the first time you can get your hands on a QLED TV. And the QLED TV is a nice step up from a traditional TV that doesn't have quantum dots, such as the Crystal series from Samsung, which is a step below the Q60D. The Q60D sits just below the Q70D and the frame. The difference between these TVs is the refresh rate on the TVs. The Q70D and the frame, well, they are 120Hz TVs, while the Q60D is a 60Hz TV. The Q60D does, however, have something in common with the frame and the Q70D. Both of these TVs are dual LED TVs, which is different from a full array local dimming TV. Because it uses that kind of backlight, you're looking at a really slim design here with the Samsung Q60D. We're looking at a thickness of 2.5 centimeters. Samsung calls this their Air Slim design. When it comes down to the build quality of this TV, it's fairly decent. Most of it is plastic, but it does feel sturdy overall. When it comes to the stand offering with this TV, you can see that this TV has two separate feet, but they do have to be positioned on the end of the TVs. So you're going to want to make sure where you place your TV is going to be wide enough for the TV stand. The TV stand has two different configurations. You can have one that has enough height to put a soundbar, and the other one lets the TV sit lower towards the table. When it comes down to the connections, all the ports are going to be located at the back of the TV, and you have 3 HDMI 2.0 ports total, one of them being ERC. I would say one of the biggest reasons you'd want to get a Q60D or really any Samsung TV might be some of the features that are available on these Samsung TVs. These are very feature-rich TVs. And at this price bracket, it offers more than most TVs do. It's also great that this TV is available in a wide variety of sizes. You even can get a 32-inch 4K version of this TV, which is kind of rare as you don't see very many 32-inch 4K TVs. And it goes all the way up to an 85-inch offering. I've put all the models here on the screen so you can see, and all the prices you see on the screen may be incorrect depending on what region you're watching from or when you are watching this. If you want up-to-date pricing information and availability, definitely check out our links in the description below. So let's talk about these features. We first have to start with Tizen OS. For 2024, Samsung has revamped the Tizen OS system. It's definitely the best iteration that they have put out yet. It was improved beyond my expectations, and it's faster than ever as well. So there's a lot of great things going for Tizen OS, so let's get into some of those things. One unique feature with this TV is going to be the ability to use it as a game console, essentially. You don't even have to have a game console to play games anymore when you have a Samsung TV. You're able to use the Samsung Game Hub to access different games as long as you have a compatible controller. Samsung also offers their own controller that you can buy, and they've partnered with PDP on this, as you can see right here. I was actually able to pair my Xbox controller, no problem at all. Unlike game consoles, you'll be using streaming to play games on these TVs using different game streaming services. Think of it kind of like your favorite movie or TV streaming service, but instead you have the option to stream games to play. It works pretty great as well, although you may want to stick to more casual games because with fast-paced ones, there is some latency from time to time that could hinder that type of gameplay experience. Of course, a great smart TV interface wouldn't be complete without all the streaming apps people love, such as Netflix, Prime Video, Disney+, Apple TV, YouTube TV, and lots more. Samsung also has their own free TV streaming app that's built into the TV as soon as you set it up. And if you're into cooking, they even have a dedicated channel for Gordon Ramsay shows. As far as integration goes, you do have voice control via the remote for control over Amazon You Know Who, or you could just use Bixby instead for your voice control. Alright, now let's get into picture quality because that's one of the most important segments of this review. The TV is using a lighter version of the processor that's found in more premium models. They're calling this the Quantum Processor Lite 4K. The plus side to this is that the processor seems really fast in terms of navigation, But when it comes down to low quality content, it definitely doesn't do as good of a job as the premium version of these processors. But that's not really a surprise at this price bracket. Now let's talk about the contrast of this TV. Overall, I think the contrast for this type of TV isn't bad actually. I was actually surprised at how good the contrast was at times on this TV. However, since it isn't using full array local dimming, you will experience some of the downsides that come with this TV type. For example, blacks can have a raised look when bright objects are present on the screen, and we've also noticed that sometimes dark scenes can appear dim. On the flip side though, you don't have to worry about blooming around bright objects since that's more of a full array local dimming issue. This TV doesn't have this backlight control method, so you don't have to worry about that. Now let's get into the brightness of the Q60D. The Q60D isn't the brightest TV, but it can look bright when you are watching SDR content. And I thought that the experience that I had with this TV in SDR was pretty good overall. However, HDR content isn't as impressive. While some content that I threw at it looked good and had decent looking highlights, most of the time I felt this TV didn't get bright enough to enjoy HDR. When it came down to bright highlights, I just didn't get the HDR impact with this TV. So I say stick to SDR with this TV whenever possible. One downside I can't forget to mention is the viewing angles with this TV. Unfortunately, like most LCD TVs, this TV does have viewing angles where the contrast and the color does fall off at an angle, so you're going to have to keep that in mind when shopping for a TV. Alright, now let's get into gaming. I did touch on Samsung's Game Hub a little bit earlier, so I think that feature is great, but if you're going to want to do PC gaming or console gaming on this TV, you're going to have to remember this TV is limited to 60 Hz. Unsurprisingly, because of that, the response time of this TV isn't very good, and you'll notice that fast motion is blurry, and I did get a fair amount of black smearing in my gameplay tests. Unfortunately, this TV also doesn't support VRR, which is variable refresh rate, something that is really nice to have in a TV meant for gaming, but it's definitely more of a luxury than a necessity. The input lag, however, is very low at around 10 milliseconds at 60 Hz. This puts it in line with Samsung's premium TV offerings when we're talking about 60 Hz, so that's really great to see. Now, as far as the built-in sound goes, the TV is going to be passable with the dialogue sounding clear, but the bass is definitely lackluster. So if you're hoping this TV delivers really high quality sound, I'm afraid you're going to want to get a soundbar with this TV. Overall, if this TV is on sale, it could be a really good option for you within its price bracket. I think there's a lot of features to go along with this TV, and if you can't quite get to the full array local dimming TVs, then this might be a good way to look. Please let us know, what do you think of the Samsung Q60D? We'd love to hear your answers. Also, let us know, what Samsung TV would you like to see covered on this channel? Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next one.